This is Chris, the Idaho Painter, here on Paint Live TV. Today I'm out here, I'm going to be pressure washing stucco. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks pressure washing a stucco building. This is a large commercial building. It's got some damaged stucco. We're going to be doing some stucco repairs, and we're going to be pressure washing the stucco, getting ready to paint it also. It's been painted before, so we're just going to be doing a repaint. Some of the tools, it's this high around the entire building. I don't need to use any ladders other than a 6-foot ladder. I probably won't even need to use that because I'm going to be using a 6-foot extension. These are must-have tools if you do any pressure washing of buildings more than a single-story building. These things are great. So 6-foot extension. I've got 2 guns. I've got one gun with a spray flex attached. If I need to do anything, spraying at any type of angle over the top or something, I got a spray flex. Great tool to have. The tip I'm going to be using a rotating tip for most of it. Then I'm going to be using a straight shot red tip that just shoots a straight shot if there's anything I need to reach up high that I can't reach with my extension. And I'll show you that tip here shortly. So 2 guns. Got my extension. I've got a pressure washer set up over here. I think it's a Mighty M pressure washer, a 3,500 PSI. I don't need anything big on this building, but we're gonna get going. I get a lot of people questions and comments about using a rotating nozzle. People thinking it's just gonna damage and tear up the substrate or the surface. And it won't if you use it properly. Just keep the proper distance back, but it actually rotates and spins, so it agitates and cleans a lot better than just a straight shot nozzle or a flat tip. So the rotating tip, absolutely love them. Been using them probably for 15 years. This is a Mighty M 5,000 PSI rotating nozzle, and it works great. You can see this is the nozzle itself. It has a filter on it too, so it won't get clogged with anything. But we're gonna get going. I'm gonna start pressure washing, just gonna work my way around this building. It's probably gonna take about an hour and a half to pressure wash it, and then we're gonna let it dry a few days, and then I'm gonna go through the painting process solo. I'm gonna be painting this thing, all alone once again. So here we go. Let's move on to pressure washing. So I'm getting my pressure washer set up. I like to not have to move my pressure washer around at all. So I've got 3 50-foot hoses and a 100-foot, I believe it's a 100-foot water hose, so I don't have to move around my pressure washer at all. And so it can sit in this one location. I can probably reach the entire building, with just without actually moving it. There's no plants and stuff that I got to work around, so it would be easy to move if I did have to move it. So one tip, before you start, just purge all the air out of your system. So it's kind of like an airless sprayer, getting the air out, the air bubbles and stuff, and priming your system. It's going to work all the air out. And then I'm going to start it up. It's cold, so I'm gonna choke this thing. There it is. All right, so we're working along power washing. I'm almost done. Got 2 sides, got to do the front. There was just some things here and there. A lot of water damage down low, troubled spots, and that's where the agitating nozzle really helped, lift up some of that stuff, get some of the debris, get some of the loose stucco off. I got stucco repairs, so I used that rotating nozzle to help do some of the stripping, so I don't have to do it by hand, stripping and scraping. So back here on the back, there's some down low, on the sides, some down low, but the building is actually fairly clean because it doesn't have an overhang. So rainwater and stuff like that has a tendency to just, hit it when it's windy and stuff and just continually wash the thing when it rains. It's been raining here for, several weeks. And so the building, wasn't too dirty. Got some plants that need to be clipped back. We're going to be clipping those plants back about 2 feet so we can do the painting process. Wear safety glasses, especially with doing stucco, because you have little bits and pieces of stucco flying off, could hit you in the eye. I've got Edge eyewear safety glasses that I like wearing, and I'm using the safety glasses that are polarized, so I don't have any glare coming off windows and glass, stuff like that. Just cruising right along. I haven't needed to use this straight tip. I've been using the rotating tip, using the 6-foot extension almost the entire time. That even keeps me away from the building, so I'm not getting water on me, getting all drenched. And it does take a little bit of muscle to hold the thing, but as it flexes and sways, it seems like it'd be a lot harder to maneuver, but it is not. It's not that difficult at all. So everything's very accessible. With I haven't even had to get on the 6-foot ladder because of that extension. So we're just about done. Stay tuned. This is part 1. Pressure washing a stucco building. I'm going to show you how I go about repairing stucco, get it to match what products I use, and then how I go about painting stucco. This is a stucco building, already been painted once before, but this is spraying and back rolling. I get a lot of questions. Well, when do I back roll? Should I back roll? This is a great example. There's an infinite number of ins and outs, and just by spraying it alone, it's not going to get the color in all those ins and outs of the stucco. So you're going to want to spray and back roll. Ideally, it's good to have somebody with you. I'm going to be using an interfed roller, a Titan interfed roller, to do a lot of spraying. I'm going to have 2 sprayers, 1 spray and 1 back rolling, and the interfed roller is going to be attached to an airless sprayer, feeding the paint into the roller so I can spray and back roll at the same time with 2 sprayers. All right, we're out here. It's day 2, and we've let this thing dry now, and we're going to be doing some patching, some prep work, patching with stucco patch. We're also going to be doing some caulking. So we've got some cracks on the building. We're going to be doing some functional caulking and then also some aesthetic caulking. We've got some up high stuff, some peeling paint and some stucco that we got to scrape. So I got some putty knives, a whole set of putty knives I'm going to be doing some scraping with and some patching with. Just going to move right along. I've got a patch right here. This is just a pre-made stucco patch that I'm going to be patching with. Just got it at my local Ace hardware store. But I've got some stuff up high. Water's getting behind the previous coatings. This building is stucco, but it's been painted multiple times. So up high, there's some peeling paint and then a little bit of damaged stucco. Wherever we end up with bare stucco, we're going to be priming over that stucco, and then we're going to be rolling over it with an elastomeric paint prior to painting it. Our final top coat is actually going to be flat, probably a flat paint, a high-end paint, like a lifetime warranty coat coating. I'm not sure which one yet, maybe duration, resilience, or there's some other. PPG has one, and Miller Paint has one. We're going to be looking at what option we're going to use, but since it's been painted multiple times before, I'm just going to be going right over the top of it. I want it to look like stucco, so I'm going to be doing it flat. So we just cruise right along. Stay with us here, patching and repairing. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks doing these patches and repairs. So here we go. So I got a lot of, it looks like it's loose stucco, but it's actually not loose stucco. The stucco is actually in pretty sound shape here. What I've got is peeling paint on this. So the paint, this has been painted multiple times. We've got water coming down this section of the building, and it's causing the paint to fail right here on the stucco. So we're just getting all this loose paint off. I'm just scraping it. I just got a level 5 putty knife I'm scraping this all off with, and then I'm going to take and back roll all this with an elastomeric paint to, bond well to this. But it looks like this is probably multiple coats of an elastomeric coating on here. It's really thick and rubbery, but I'm getting all this loose stuff out of these cracks, because I'm going to actually caulk these cracks right here. So trying to get everything loose out of here. So we'll fill this crack in. And then when I'm spraying this building also, I'll be spraying, back rolling to help it bond and last. Now we're just gonna try to seal these cracks up. We don't want water getting in here. Wintertime, freeze, thaw, and it's gonna continue to crack it more. So we're just gonna fill these cracks up with Mega-Elastic caulking, which is a good caulking for stucco, kind of like an elastomeric coating. And I'm just gonna dab this on here with my hands and use, push it in so it kind of makes it look like the stucco and not just a smooth caulking bead. So just want to dab and push on it, blend it in. I'm up really high, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look awesome because nobody will be able to tell from down below. So I do have like a caulking sponge, the lower stuff, using a caulking sponge to dab and press and push with water, helps blend. If you're concerned about it blending in, but it's looking, just press and push that in there, and this will adhere to that really good. The rest of this, I'm just going to, once again, take and back roll it with an elastomeric coating. Let's try to get that down in there. I thought I was gonna have some patches up here, but there's nothing really to patch because once again, this is all just loose paint that I'm scraping off here. The stucco is actually in pretty good shape. And this is all, once again, just water damage because there's no overhang on this building. So once I get up top, I'll try to figure out, obviously water's coming down this whole side right here. So we'll try to figure that out. We do have some mildew behind this paint. We're gonna have to spray some bleach, some type of chemical on here to kill this. There's nothing really here that I need to actually patch with concrete patch. Some of these big areas here we'll have to hit them with a primer first. Got some loose, some of this stuff has got some really loose stuff on it, so I'm gonna prime that with a primer before I put anything over it. Could get like some locks on, something to prime that with. We want to seal that up good before we put an elastomeric coating on that. It'll look pretty bad from down below, but it's not actually too bad. I think I got everything right here that I need to get on this spot. And once again, the roof, my assumption is going to be that we've got water spilling over, not going down the gutters right here, probably spilling over, running down the wall here. These really hairline ones right here, that'll get filled when we back roll, when we're spraying. I do have a couple corners down here and some stucco patches down low I'm going to be working on right here. See if I can get the wire framing bent back out to basically give our stucco some backing to hang on. I'm going to try to just blend it in by tapping it get it so it looks similar to the stucco that's on there now. These pieces that are falling on the ground, they'll just dry and I'll be able to just scoop them up once they're dry. I think it's close to 100 degrees today, so it's really warm. Stuff is drying really fast, which isn't bad. But we're going to try to just blend this in here now. I'll come back and I'll probably hit this one more time. That looks pretty close to the existing stucco. Got some stuff around the door here we're gonna do too, but that looks pretty good. Got our corner patched up there. So we got things like these pipes coming out that were just kind of busted through the wall and no escutcheon plate put on it or anything. So I'm just gonna caulk these things, keeps bugs out, water out, stuff, and also makes it look finished and nicer. So it's kind of simple, just putting caulking around that. We do got some cracks down here on the bottom. We're going to be caulking some of these, caulk some of them right here, but they're starting to re-crack. Once again, you want to use a really good adhesive caulk and a caulk that's really flexible too. That's going to expand and contract with this building. You got some movement and settling on this building, but also got, you can see a nice big crack here. You want to make sure when you're filling these things that you're actually filling the whole crack and not just skimming it over with caulking, or it will crack really fast again. It'll separate. So I'm filling that up nicely, watching the caulking go down in that crack and fill it up, you know, really good. There's some stucco patches right here at the bottom here that will, once this caulking dries, we're gonna patch this with stucco right there. That's a big stucco patch. Some of this you may have to dig out the existing caulking. All this is, none of it I have to dig out here. One of the reasons why I like wearing gloves too, just don't want caulking all over my hands. And it also even says in the caulking tube, says not to get it on your skin. It says it can be harmful. I think it says it's cancerous or something like that, which is kind of interesting. So I prefer wearing gloves. I just don't want caulking drying on my hands and having dirty hands at the end of the day. And when you're caulking stucco, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you're not trying to get this like smooth bead like you would be if you're doing like the interior trim or on a new construction home. You'd want your caulking to be absolutely perfectly smooth. And this is just a different style of caulking. You're kind of making it look rough like the stucco. We got a big crack all along this whole thing. It looks like it's gonna probably take several tubes of caulking here. Once again, this is mega elastic, so it's gonna bond really good. It's gonna have good stretching. Even another option that's really good for something like this would be like big stretch. If this gap is gonna be getting bigger and smaller from expansion and contraction. Okay, I'm up here. One of the final steps of this prepping process is I've done the scraping and caulking. I got to prime some of these areas up here because I scraped off the paint all the way down to the bare concrete or bare stucco. So I'm using a Loxon. This is a concrete primer sealer right here. So I'm just hand rolling it over with a 4-inch roller on all these bare areas. And it's going to give my top coat a better bite and a better bond, and it'll seal that concrete up. So, or the concrete or the stucco that's bare now. So just a quick, simple process, nothing elaborate. 4-inch roller, 3/8-inch nap right here, locks on with no tint. So I'm just up here, got some bare areas, and from down below you can't see as well. Once you get up here, you can see they're worn down or bare right to the finish, stucco finish here. And so I'm just being very careful. I don't want to roll too fast, too quickly, or else it's just gonna splatter paint. And being up high like this, you could splatter paint for quite a distance. I've got underneath me, it's just dirt, so I'm not worried about that. When I get over here where there's a sidewalk and stuff, I want to be careful not to get anything on the sidewalk. I'm gonna be laying down cardboard on the sidewalk to protect that. So just nice, slow, easy roll with heavy pressure, pushing this into those bare areas. It's just gonna make once again, the top coat stick better, bond better to these kind of areas that are a little bit troubled, a little bit crumbling. Help seal them up. Anywhere where I use stucco patch, it's also a good idea to prime the stucco patch also, because it'll be extremely porous, not primed. So it's good to just roll over some locks on those areas also. This caulking too, I'm just rolling on and around this caulking too to seal all around the edges of this caulking too. That will help my caulking last longer also. If I see any cracks, I can back roll over my hairline cracks right now also, then I wouldn't have to do them when I do my top coat either. Just put a nice, good heavy coat. You don't want you run your nap dry and dry nap it. You want to get a good thick coat of this primer on there. So I'm putting it on nice and heavy. Once again, looking for anything bare, any of the caulking I put on, or any hairline cracks. For stucco in Idaho, this is actually in pretty good shape. Stucco does not weather too well in Idaho. It's because of the extreme winters, freezing, thawing. Water likes to get inside the stucco. It freezes and thaws, starts to cause it to flake and crack off. So it is a good idea to seal it up really well, waterproof it if you are gonna put it up here in our climate, which not a lot of people do. Not a lot of the installers know how to properly install it for this climate either. If you're coming from somewhere like Arizona or something that's gonna be completely different. This crazy bush is all overgrown, so it was not easy getting in there to prime it, and unfortunately they said they can't trim it back anymore. So that really sucks, but I don't know how I'm gonna get in there, but I got right here, this whole window, I did stucco patch almost on this entire top of this window right here. So I want to, prime this. See if I can. And I got to get it so I can match it one more coat of stucco to make it match a little bit better. But getting in here and getting all cut up and scratched up really sucks. But we got a caulk around the window. This all needs to be caulked. Prior to painting, I'll re-caulk it with an elastomeric caulking. That's how you lose 5-in-1 tools. They usually get drug out of your pocket into the bushes. That's it. I think we got it. Blow everything off now, all the chips and stuff, and I got, where some of the stucco fell on the ground, it'll just knock right off with a 5-in-1. So I'm just gonna knock this stuff off. We're all done now doing the power washing and the prepping. We've done stucco repairs, caulking repairs. We've done some aesthetic caulking, some functional caulking, some aesthetic stucco repairs, some functional stucco repairs, and some priming. Now we're gonna move on to day 3 and doing the painting solo. I've got some high painting to do. I'm probably gonna be renting a lift because getting around there and trying to do that red band up and down ladders all day long, it might be a little bit difficult for me to do at my age. So I'm contemplating getting a lift. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get a 40-foot lift and I can just drive around here and do all that upper stuff a lot easier in one day. So we're gonna get on with the painting. If you wanna see how we paint stucco, the spraying and the back rolling, I'm gonna be using some pretty cool tools. I'll probably be using a Titan inter-fed roller on this, and I'll be also spraying using a Titan 3000 Elite sprayer. So I'll be getting paint on with that and doing some back rolling with that. So we're gonna use some unusual tools in this. If you've never seen an inter-fed roller in action, stay tuned. We're off to the next video, day 3. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you got any questions or comments, about the power washing or the prepping, just leave them in the comment section down below and we'll try to get to those comments answered for you. If you've got any tips or tricks you want to share, just leave it in the comment section below also. We'll see you on our next video. Ow.